it took me a while only because I didn't know how to go about the process of getting myself diagnosed, because we're living in a country that, although we have access to it, we don't have exposure to it. I was aware of my ADHD symptoms without having a name for it since I was very young. Okay. So I knew that I was not typical in terms of the way I behaved or the way that I was bringing myself amongst people in a social setting. But I didn't really have a name for it until I had access to the computer since I was like maybe 13. So I was on, at that time, it was like, I think it was like Yahoo or some sort of platform that wasn't Google. And I think the first sort of realization or revelation was when I had seen sort of a website that had all the symptoms that I was having. I was very forgetful. My attention span was running between 10 different things. I was always multitasking. I was always impatient. And I was always forgetting to do things that were like deadlines and stuff like that. It was not very good for me. I didn't have a good concept of time, meaning, some people can feel the passing of time, but for myself, it's like, I can't feel 2 hours go. It's almost as if the concept of time isn't something that I could grasp. So I was either very early or very late. And then I was always demotivated until the last minute, where, you have that sense of urgency. And so when it was all listed down, I knew from the get-go that this somehow they were talking about me in that article. The problem with understanding or knowing but not understanding is the fact that you don't know how to harness, because as a neurodivergent or someone who is atypical, who's not typically processing in the same way, when you don't know how to harness and how to actually take care of, because you have to take care of yourself differently, right? Sure. You have different triggers and all that stuff. So when that happens, you don't know how to harness your what do you call that? Your strengths, and you don't know how to work with your weaknesses. So you're always on that push and pull and always struggling to fit in and working in the same way as people who are not neurodivergent, who are neurotypical.
It's true.
So that was the biggest struggle. It was pretending or masking as if I was like everybody else and having to function the way that they did, and also not knowing how to function the way that I should.
Sure.
And it took me a while only because I didn't know how to go about the process of getting myself diagnosed, because we're living in a country that, although we have access to it, we don't have exposure to it. So there are two different, perspectives. It's like, it's there, but you just don't know how to get to it.